Are we live? We are live now. Cool. All right. All right, guys. So this is the predictions episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Rams Seahawks game is not yet over.
But it's
You
not
will
looking good
probably
for
see
us.
later. Do what?
It's not looking good for us, though.
No,
Unless
but
Geno
it is-
Smith. Come on, Geno Smith. Save us.
Geno Smith has an opportunity here. You guys will see later on the podcast that we predicted while the game was still 0-0, we both predicted the Seahawks to win this game. So right now it's not looking great, but Seattle has just made a really, a really clutch. And there's a pick. Never mind. We lose.
Dang, I didn't see the pick. You just gave it away from me. See, this is the first time that you're ahead of me. This is the first time that you got your shit together and you're ahead of me. It's the first time. But I will tell you, we may have lost, but I may have won because DK Metcalf had a hell of a game. So thank you to that. He got those 20 points I want him to get. That was a really bad pick, too. Are you sure that wasn't a flag anywhere? Why is there a player on the ground? Like why?
Damn, and I was all excited to come on here and react to this amazing end to this game, and then Geno pick. Terrible, fucking Geno Smith, man.
Wait, hold up. Is that not pass interference right there?
Well, they're not calling a flag, so.
Well, I mean, it's too late now. Obviously, they're not gonna call one now, but that was definitely a play. I mean, Geno Smith didn't look bad either. But that's definitely a play. He tripped him while he was going over the middle. And that was well beyond the 5 yards.
Yeah, I see that. But you know what, Geno Smith, that's what you get for not showing up to a charity event. What was it, 7 years ago? Fucking asshole. I'm not gonna lie. I picked the Seahawks to win this game, but I want to see the Rams win because the Rams are just a cool team.
Let's get into these predictions, man. That's your line, but I'm just gonna say it on that boat. That's
fine. It's fine. Let's get into these predictions. There's pretty much nothing left in this game. The Rams. Let's see. I think they're both out of timeouts. So literally, the Rams are gonna run one play. And then it's
2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. And then so I guess in theory the Seahawks could have 30 seconds left. And I mean you never know. Geno Smith.
No, they're in field goal position. All they just kick a field goal, game's over. It's over, man.
Not if Darrell Henderson fumbles the ball, Thomas. Or they missed the field goal. The Seattle kicker missed a field goal earlier.
Yeah. But that dude definitely. There should have been a pick. There should have been a flag there. What do you think though? You think that should have been a flag?
Yeah, I do. That was a clear and obvious. That was way past 5 yards downfield.
Yeah. Just making sure I wasn't the only one here. It's just that was an obvious flag right there. So this is another one of those signature NFL.
I didn't think about it until you said something, but now that you mention it, I definitely think that should be a flag.
It was the first thing I noticed was there's a player on the ground. Receivers usually just don't fall on their own like that. They usually have good coordination, but it was just Anyway, look at these predictions. Who we got?
Definitely get into these.
I got to make a comeback because you're whooping my ass this year.
Well, you're not going to make a comeback with this Thursday night game because we both picked the same team.
See.
So,
that's cool.
You know what? I was this close, man. I was this close to picking the Rams just because, I really like the Rams.
Me too, dude.
Seahawks found some signs of life lately. That was really the only reason I picked the Seahawks. But I really wanted to pick the Rams.
You heard my question. My first question was who's home? Who was going to be tougher than going? Look, man. I mean, Geno Smith, you got to give it to him though. He did play well though. He came in. Besides that one pick, he came in. He played. He did his thing. He looked good.
I was about to say that pick says otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that flag that didn't get thrown said otherwise. All right.
As just a little bit of background, guys, I'm currently at 44-20 on the year, and Thomas is at 37-27. So you're not too far behind me. You're only what is it like? What's that? 7? You're about 7 games behind me. So, I
Okay.
mean, you
A lot of
probably need
season
about
left.
2 good weeks in a row to catch up.
A
Unless
lot of
I just
season
have
left.
an awful week. Well, there's a lot of season left, but it's not like you're like just devastatingly behind me. It's not like it's like
Yeah.
over already or anything like that.
It's
So, like I
time for
said,
me to
2
bring
good
him back.
weeks in a row, and you can catch up.
All right, cool. Let's go. Let's get into these predictions.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, like I said,
I'm
we're both
sharp.
starting off
I'm sharp.
0-1
You're
this.
so I'm ready.
Okay. We're both starting off 0-1 this week because we picked the Seahawks over the Rams, and that did not happen. So let's start off with the AFC games. We got the New England Patriots traveling to Houston to play the Texans that just got spanked 40-0.
New England Patriots playing the Texans, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots. The Texans look bad, and I'm not just saying that because I read your power rankings and I seen who you had last. I read your power ranking right away. I read all 32. I gotta say it was a really good. Kyle, that was really good. I gotta give that to you. You did great on that. I appreciate that.
I felt like
yeah.
I was going to take a little bit of heat because I put not an 0-4 team at the bottom. But I don't know. Just to me, the Texans just look so bad right now.
Dude, Kyle, you got a future. You got a future in sports.
Thank you.
Like you do. You got a really
so.
bright.
I've been trying. I'm almost 30 now. I've been trying to make something happen for years, and
it happened.
I'm having fun doing this. Honestly, like I could totally just keep doing this forever. Like if I have another job that pays me pretty well, I could just keep doing this forever for free. I don't care.
Dude, I do.
Now, would I
think
like
that,
to make some money off of it? Sure, but I could totally just keep doing this.
So yeah, with that said, I'm going to New England Patriots. This is a game. Bill Belichick is still the coach of the Patriots. Mac Jones, he really don't look that bad. I mean, like there's better rookie quarterbacks. Yeah, there have been better rookie quarterbacks, but he does look like the best in this class so far. So I'm gonna go with give me the Patriots. It's pretty no brainer. And Patriots defense still a Patriots defense.
I don't know about the Patriots defense, but I'm pretty much going to agree with you here. I don't know. The Patriots are kind of like up and down. I don't necessarily really trust them a whole lot with a whole lot, except that they're playing the Texans. So
yeah.
I don't know if I will pick the Texans to win a single game this year. I'm not saying the Texans are so bad that they can't win a game. Obviously they already did win a game. I don't necessarily think they're going to go 1-16, but I don't think there's going to be any given week.
Did I freeze or did he freeze?
17 or whatever.
Are you there?
Did I cut out?
Yeah, you froze, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you froze or if I froze. But let me get this.
I think that was me. I was updating NordVPN, and I guess it must have messed with my internet connection or something.
Okay, cool. You kind of froze for a second. I was like, oh no, not Kyle.
That was weird. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So getting off of that because anyway. So yeah, we're both picking the Patriots. I don't think there's really a whole lot that needs to really be explained there. The Texans are just bad, and the Patriots have a little bit going for them. Mac Jones has been up and down in his rookie season, as any rookie's gonna be. Like I think expecting any rookie to be great all the time is ridiculous. But the thing about Mac Jones that you gotta like is he's shown the flashes. He's shown that he can be the good quarterback. Now, which Mac Jones is going to be the final product, I don't know. Lately, it hasn't looked so good, but it looked pretty good early on. So, we'll just kind of see how he develops at this point. He certainly, I think, has proven to me that he's better than I thought he was going to be. I didn't think he was going to be good at all. I thought he was going to be maybe like a ceiling of Kirk Cousins, but a floor of like Geno Smith, for example. God, Geno Smith. That was such an anticlimactic ending, man. I was trying to get going, all right, man, let's get this live stream going. There's like a crazy game that we can react to. It's gonna be fun for the audience, and then
pick
interception. Fuck you, Geno. Fuck you, Geno Smith.
I mean,
that kid's charity thing. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
doing this kid charity. Okay, so to his defense, that there was that receiver who fell down, but he probably should have seen that. He probably should have
Well, that's the
did
thing. You
better.
don't that
You don't throw it.
happened.
Yeah, that was still a bad pick. No matter what, it was still a
That
bad pick.
happened before he threw the ball, so you got to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Like, I mean, it looked like what he did was he just picked the spot on the field he was going to throw the ball.
It looked like he already had the play planned out in his head. Like he was like, I'm going to throw it
Like
there no
he didn't
matter
bother
what.
reading the defense, he just decided where he was going to throw the ball, and he expected his receiver to be there. But the problem is, shit happens.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next game. We got the Titans traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jacksonville Urban Myers.
Ooh, you said they're playing the Titans this week?
Yeah,
oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, Kyle. I'm going to ask the question again. Okay. How long will Urban Meyer be the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Now that is a good question. I was like you asked about Ben Roethlisberger earlier, and I said I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to be the starting quarterback through the rest of the season, barring injury. By the way, I didn't want to predict anybody gets injured. I never want to speculate on that.
You're right. That's I
will say I could be wrong if he gets injured or something like that, which could possibly happen because he's old and broken down. But I don't really want to speculate on that majorly. So I'll just say as long as injury doesn't happen, I think Ben Roethlisberger will make it through the season as a starting quarterback because the Steelers are an arrogant, stupid franchise. Now the Urban Meyer, that's a good question. I wouldn't be shocked to find out he gets fired before the Jaguars play the Titans. I really wouldn't. I'm surprised he didn't get fired already. He's completely lost the respect of the players. This is insane.
Oh my god, dude! I had a TikTok video where I'm like, "Yo, how long? Let's play a game. How long till Urban Meyer gets fired?" And it's just getting worse every single time he opens up his mouth. He just makes things worse.
I'll tell you what, you called this Urban Meyer fiasco for real. Maybe not quite to the extent that it did. But you called it. You called that Urban Meyer was going to be trash. And right now, if things don't turn around for the Jaguars, Urban Meyer might go down as the worst NFL head coach ever. That's how bad it's been so far.
The part of me hopes that happens. No, I'm not gonna say that. I mean, look. Okay, look. I shouldn't be so celebrative of somebody losing their job. But I can tell you, look, Urban Meyer. Look, a lot of people are hiring right now. You want to go work at Chick-fil-A? They're paying you $15 an hour plus college. They're giving you $15 an hour plus college reimbursement. Go work for Chick-fil-A. So not only can you get $15 an hour, but when you go to USC, you can get reimbursement for it. Urban Meyer, go take some classes.
So then, who do you think's going to win this game, Thomas?
Oh, dude, the freaking Titans. What do you mean? They lost last week against the Jets. You think they're going to have 2 duds in a row? The Titans aren't a scrub team. They're about to go in there and they're about to march down Jacksonville's throat until Urban Meyer is fired.
Derrick Henry's going to go off again. Derrick Henry's going to have a game in this one, and Jacksonville's just going to get embarrassed. I said I wouldn't be shocked if Urban Meyer gets fired before they play this game, but I really wouldn't be shocked if he gets fired after this game because I think it's going to be a blowout by the Titans. I think the Jaguars. I think Urban Meyer has lost the locker room in Jacksonville. I think those players are going to be going into that being completely unprepared for this game. And I think the Titans are just going to fucking smoke them. Not even close. The Titans are just going to absolutely run the fuck through the Jaguars. It's not even going to be close. And I, again, would not be shocked to see Urban Meyer get fired over it.
The crazy thing is that they actually, they were going the right direction against the Bengals. Okay, here go the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're playing well against a good team. They came out on a short week. They came out hot on a short week. They looked good that first half. They didn't play a bad game. If anything, you would think after a long week of rest and the momentum from that last game, you'd think that they would have some form of momentum because, you got to realize that they had to know that this wasn't going to be easy starting off. And I just think that they just kind of made a mountain out of a molehill in a way. because they could have had a chance to come in this game and build in confidence and maybe even turn a lot of heads this game. But instead, this is what bad teams do. This is what bad organizations do. I know, I'm a Browns fan. This is what happens. You just let stupid stuff like this stockpile on you, and then next thing you know, whoever talking about people possibly losing their jobs. They got coaches dancing at nightclubs on women that's not their wives. We're not gonna go into that. All I'm saying is good luck, Urban Meyer. If he'd be on his feet, he'd be the coach of the USC Trojans next year anyway. So.
I see. At this point, I'm not sure if USC is going to take him.
Yeah, he's
kind of screwed himself up. Like here's the thing. Like, nobody is really. A lot of people have the same perspective. Maybe not quite the same perspective you've had, Thomas, because like you were like, guys, people cheat, and like there's not a lot of people out there expressing that sentiment, but there's a lot of people who are just kind of dismissing like the actions that he's doing, which is fair. It's like it's that guy's personal life. I'm not here to tell people how to live their lives. But the thing, like Urban Meyer probably could have gotten past this if he had been a man about it in front of his players.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Like the Jaguars came out, and the Jaguars players came out. They didn't come out. They privately said that Urban Meyer has zero credibility right now. And the reason is not because he cheated on his wife. It's because of the way he handled it after the fact. Like if you just handled it like a fucking man, then you wouldn't have this problem. But you didn't. You handled it like a toddler.
I mean, that's what cheaters do. You know what I mean? Like, he should have just came out and just say, like, look, I was at a club, I was at a party and had too many drinks. He kind of said that, but like you said, you just let this stuff stockpile. And then, like, on top of that, the Jaguars organization, y'all still got to keep this professional. Like, this is a long season. We're only in week 4. I mean, so much stuff can happen in the season, especially when you're talking about 17 making the playoffs. I'm not saying y'all could have made the playoffs, but you don't. The media that was coming out about the Jaguars hasn't been good. And you gotta look from the top down on that one. You gotta look how they manage the communication with this whole thing. And I'm not a fan of how the Jaguars were presenting the situation. Like if anything, they should have done whatever they can to make it go away instead of making it obvious that there's higher ups in the organization that are mad about Urban Meyer. There's a thing called biting your lip, man. There's a thing called keeping stuff in house. When you have leaks like this, there's a lot of bad stuff going on.
Well, to be honest with you, that's pretty much the way that like Shad Khan and the Jaguars ownership has handled things like this for the longest time.
Well, this is probably why they're where they're at.
Well, it actually very well quite, you could certainly make the argument it was. I mean, this is an ownership group that was feuding with Yannick Ngakoue when he was like being like, oh, I want to get out of Jacksonville. And like, most ownership groups, what they do is they're like, well, that sucks. And then they like, if the media asks them, they're like, well, we don't want to trade this guy, but they stay professional about it. Shad Khan, I think actually it was his son, was out here feuding with Yannick Ngakoue on Twitter. And it's just like, why do you think the Jaguars are a trash organization? It's because their ownership is just got the complete wrong mentality.
Yeah. Look, man, like honestly, like, I'm gonna say this though. Like honestly, I don't like Urban Meyer. I really do wish you well. I mean, like I'm not saying that I want you to get fired just because like I just want you to get fired. You're gonna land on your feet, dude. You still gonna make more money than I might ever see in my life unless I get famous. Because if I get famous, I'm gonna make more than you do. But so I always sound like I'm. But yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like everybody, you'll be fine. Like there's gonna be other coaching jobs for you out there. You land on your feet. But like this NFL thing doesn't seem like it's working out too well for you, man.
No, he needs to go back to college or just retire.
I think he should go back to ESPN at this point. I think he was chilling. He had a good spot, or for the Fox or whoever.
What would be fascinating if Urban Meyer
came on his podcast?
No, well, that would be interesting. No, I was going to say if Urban Meyer went to Michigan.
Ooh.
That'd be spicy.
Ooh, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be fascinating. I want to see that.
That'd be interesting. By the way, real quick, do you think Ohio State will lose to Michigan this year?
I hope so. I have no idea. I
Oh
don't
my
really
god!
follow college football enough to tell you. I know UC's good. That's about all I know.
Oh, UC look great, don't they? They just beat
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, a really good game.
I heard about that. Again, I don't really follow college football because my team is historically trash, and lately they've been doing all right. Lately they've been doing pretty good, but for the most part, it's just like a sea of nothing. The only thing my team ever did was give the Browns a golden opportunity at quarterback that they squandered.
What do you mean? You talking about drafting Baker Mayfield?
I'm talking about Tim Couch.
Oh,
That's the only thing my school ever did for the NFL was give the Browns a golden opportunity that they squandered.
look, man, this is what happens when you have a soccer owner running a football team.
Jimmy Haslam's a soccer owner.
Yeah, but see, he wasn't a soccer owner before he was the owner of the Browns. He was a partial owner. He was a partial owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what's funny about that is the Roonies recommended Jimmy Haslam. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy Jimmy Haslam's the owner of Cleveland. He's doing a lot of great stuff for Cleveland. But there were other owners who could have been more. There was a lot of fit owners. There was a lot of fit owners for the Browns lined up for the Browns, and Jimmy Haslam gets the job. Just saying, moving on.
So next on the docket, we got the Buffalo Bills traveling to Kansas City to play the Kansas City Chiefs in a game that looked at the beginning of the season like this was going to be like a marquee matchup. Now it's like, man, are the Chiefs even really all that good anymore?
Yeah, the league has caught up to the Chiefs. That's partially why I was like, yeah, they could lose to the Eagles. I mean, they didn't look like the Chiefs against the Eagles. But that offense still that offense. They get Josh Gordon coming back soon or going to play soon. That should be interesting how that works. Man, who's home? You said the Bills are home.
It is an Arrowhead.
Okay, so I want to go with the I'm actually going to go with the Chiefs this game still.
Okay.
They do look vulnerable. The Bills look like the Bills is a team that definitely beat them. The Bills probably are a favorite, I'm guessing, this game, or probably close to it. This is gonna be a great game, actually. I know you said it's not probably gonna be as marquee as it was. The Bills do look like a better team than the Chiefs, and the Chiefs do have they still have they're just not as good as they, So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I want to go with the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna pull this one out. This just looked like a game that Patrick Mahomes is going to be signature. He's just going to pull out. So I'm going to the Chiefs.
Okay. So I am going to go with the Bills, and I'll tell you why, Thomas.
Okay.
118-21. That is the margin of victory that the Bills have had this season. In the 3 games that they've won this season, they won by a combined score of 118-21.
Wow.
And those 21 points, by the way, came to the that was when the Washington football team scored 21 on them when they beat them 43-21. The other games that they've played this year, they won 35-0 and 40-0. Look, I know it was the Texans and the Dolphins, but they beat NFL teams 35-0 and 40-0. One of those games was in Miami, by the way. They went to Miami. They beat the Dolphins 35-0.
That's pretty impressive.
Look, I don't know what the hell was going on with the Bills when they played the Steelers in Week 1 because they could just not get that offense going for whatever reason. But it's Week 1. Weird things happen in Week 1. You take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because, as you recall, the Steelers didn't exactly play great in that game either. It was just...
Yeah, I know. They just got a lot. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Nobody knows better than me.
As far as, games where you can actually really take something from it this year, the Bills have outscored their opponents 118-21. So, look, right now, you saw my power rankings. In my opinion, the Bills are the best team in the NFL right now, and it's not even all that close. The Cardinals have been doing pretty good, but the Bills are insane.
Well, you don't got to be, in the NFL, you don't got to be the better team to win a game. You got to be a better team that day.
Yeah.
And I think Patrick Mahomes could make the Chiefs a better team than the Bills for one game. That's basically what it comes down to. Is just Patrick. I just think that Patrick Mahomes has a Patrick Mahomes moment this game, and this is just one of those games where your superstar quarterback just flexes muscle for a little bit. Now, I don't think that he'll be able to do that for a duration of the season. I think that they're going to struggle with a lot of opponents. That defense doesn't look like the defense it was in the past. Are they still having offensive line trouble, or do you think the offensive line been pretty well maintained this year? Because I know they have offensive line trouble.
That's a good question. I haven't really kept up with the Chiefs too much as far as what they've been doing on a game-to-game basis. But let's see. As far as let's just see how many sacks they've given up this year. Looks like the Chiefs they've done pretty damn well. Patrick Mahomes only been sacked 5 times. That's third best in the NFL. So okay. And that's tied with Buffalo, actually. Both the Bills and the Chiefs have hardly been allowing any sacks on their quarterback.
All right. So obviously it's not the problem isn't the offense, but like I said, you got to that defense, they look vulnerable, but I still think the Chiefs have the ability to beat any team in the NFL and possibly win the Super Bowl. They're still the freaking Chiefs, so I'm going with the Chiefs.
All right. So let's see. Per Pro Football Focus, their pass blocking is currently graded at a 62.4. So that's about average. Not really good, not really bad. But like I said, Patrick Mahomes only been sacked 5 times, which is, that's just the tale of what's been going on. Now, that's probably partially because Patrick Mahomes is so good at evading pressure, and so maybe that's not entirely the offensive line doing that. But at the same time, the Chiefs have had pretty good, have done pretty well with that. But so have the Bills, and the Bills have just been on an absolute fucking tear lately. I think the Bills are going to get this done. I know it's in Arrowhead. I know Arrowhead's a tough place to win because, Chiefs fans and how loud they can get. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Bills are the better team right now. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
So next we got, that's an AFC North game. Next we got the New York Jets traveling to Atlanta to play the Falcons.
New York Jets versus Atlanta Falcons. Oh, that's tough. I want the Jets. Only because, I can't completely ignore what they just did to the Titans. That was pretty impressive. The Atlanta Falcons just haven't been able to get their shit together ever since they lost the Super Bowl. It feels like it's been getting worse. And what's been going on with Matt Ryan? There's been moments where I'm like, oh, he's good, and then I'm like, good. What's been going on with him exactly? I'm not sure how to really explain it. And I haven't been watching a lot of Atlanta Falcons game admittedly because I'm a Browns fan. Why would I even think about Atlanta? But I've seen enough of Atlanta to know what's going on, and that is just. I just think the Jets. I think that coach for the Jets. I do really like the coach. The hire they have at a coach. I think that he's a lot better than the last guy they had. Maybe their young quarterback starts to come more into his own. But I just think the Jets. They do have weapons on that team. They have some weapons on that team somewhere. But yeah. So give me the Jets this game. They look good against the Titans. So I think the momentum rolls into Atlanta.
Okay. So you're taking the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And these are 2 bad football teams.
Oh, these are 2 horrible football teams.
I think I think they could tie.
Are we having our first tie prediction on Battle of Ohio podcast?
No, I'm not going to do that because the likelihood that a tie ever happen. I don't think I'm ever going to predict a tie because the likelihood that would ever happen
Dude, if they tie, I won't laugh.
It's so low. Yes, ties happen, but
If they tie, I won't laugh.
The probability of that happening is pretty low. So for me to predict a tie, I'm almost definitely giving myself a loss. Other than again, that would be counted as a tie, not a loss. So it's not fully a loss.
I mean, can Corey Davis do what he did last game? But I mean, Zach Wilson had 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception against the Titans. The Titans don't really have like the best defense in the world, but like that's still, I mean, like it's still a really well coached team, and he did his thing. So you got it. I mean, like that's pretty good, man. I mean, like you're a rookie quarterback, you take your lumps. I mean, he outplayed Ryan Tannehill on the low.
Yeah.
I mean, so hey, man, look, let's just I'm just saying, like, let's just see what Zach Wilson. He's not looking bad. I mean, I'm not saying he's the next coming or anything, but I just think that this might be interesting. So I think I'm going with the Jets. But who do you say you're going with?
I was thinking about going with a tie.
With a tie, yeah.
But probably not.
Go Atlanta. So we got 2 different picks. So come back.
I think I might go Atlanta. Just because, man, Matt Ryan still looks really good. Matt Ryan really does still look really good, and that Atlanta defense is very bad, and that's why they keep losing all these games where they should be where they have these leads and they just keep blowing them. It's because the defense sucks and the defense cannot hold it together. And so it almost just kind of seems like bad luck for me to pick the Falcons, but I think they can beat the Jets, man. I think they can beat the Jets.
I mean, Matt Ryan did have 3 interceptions against the Broncos. That wasn't a really good game that he had against them. And like there were moments where their offense should have done better because you do have Calvin Ridley and stuff. They only scored 6 points against the Eagles the first week. Now the game they shouldn't have lost. They had the Washington football team come back against them in classic Atlanta fashion. Maybe they are just unlucky right now. Maybe they're just a good team that's just been unlucky. But I think that a good team that's been unlucky is the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think the Atlanta Hawks is a good team that's been unlucky. I think they're just a bad team that score a couple points here or there. I think the Atlanta Falcons are a bad team with some good players. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like you could make the argument about the Jets the same way.
Oh no, the Jets are horrible. The Jets are a bad team with bad players.
Right. Well, then I guess I'll take the good players in this particular case. I'll take the Falcons. They're not going to lose to the Jets. Really, I don't think they're going to lose to the Jets.
I mean, by the way, this game is played in London, right? By the way. So wake up early. Wake up at 9:30, ladies and gentlemen, to see the Jets play the Falcons in London.
Well, I mean, I'll be up that early anyway, but
I'll be up that early too.
All right, so let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Miami Dolphins. This will be, I think, the first time. Okay, that was quick. I think this will be the first time I think that the Dolphins have played their old nemesis Tom Brady not in a Patriots uniform.
Battle of Florida. Why do Florida have so many football teams?
That is a good question. I mean, I was kind of fascinated that they picked Jacksonville in the first, back in '95. Now, I mean, I was also 3 in '95, so I
don't remember '95.
I didn't have that many opinions about things, but I was still like, Jacksonville? What's a Jacksonville? In '95. So
yeah, there's a lot of places they could have put an NFL team besides Jacksonville, but hey man, look, get the people what they want. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, Chris Godwin, Ronald Jones, Antonio Brown, Bruce Arians. Enough said.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not going to be a contest.
it's really not. I don't have much analysis for this one for real. Like
what actions do you need?
I
Dolphins
don't
going to get
I
the
really
Dolphins
don't
about to
think
get smacked.
I really don't think I have nor need much analysis because the Miami Dolphins are a bad football team.
Yeah,
With bad coaching.
yeah.
I don't know if there's much redeeming factor for the Dolphins. Like I mean their defense is pretty good sometimes. But I think the Miami Dolphins are a bad football team that probably should be 0-4 just based on the way they're playing. Um, and I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are basically walking into a game where they can basically just mop up on a vastly inferior opponent and kind of get themselves mentally on track where they need to be. So yeah, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So next we got the Chicago Bears traveling to Oakland or fucking shit, traveling to Las Vegas. Play the fucking Raiders.
Look, we're not gonna go down this route again because we probably talked about it at length with the last two episodes. So yeah, so
I'm pretty sure you did that before, and I was talking shit. And I
multiple
cannot believe
times,
I did that.
multiple times, two episodes on the road to be exact.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun because I do think the Bears Justin Fields look better, but I'm not gonna take the Bears this game. I'm still gonna stick with the Raiders. By the way, Kyle, I mean, I do think that people are too hard on the Bears because they lost to the Browns. You got to realize the Bears did make the playoffs last year. They did make the playoff last year. They are a well coached team.
Yeah,
Although
because they were led by NFL MVP Mitch Trubisky, and that was the whole reason. They had the GOAT on their team.
But also you gotta realize
him
2 years ago they would have made the playoffs.
Okay.
Then they made playoffs like 8-8 for like 2. They were like the 17th to make playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
What about it?
So what I'm saying is that if the playoffs were expanded last year, if they were 2 years ago, they wouldn't make the playoffs. But I'm just saying they are a playoff team. The Bears aren't a chump change team, and they do take advantage of mistakes that you make. The Bengals, for example, that's how they beat the Bengals. They took advantage of the Bengals making the mistakes and them shoot themselves in the foot. If you turn the ball over against the Bears, they will capitalize on it. If you give them a good field position, they will capitalize on it. In order to beat the Bears, you got the Bears, one of those teams that take advantage of mistakes. That's the way they're coached, the way they're branded. But I do think the Oakland Raiders are just a better team. I think that
Las Vegas Raiders, Thomas.
I think the Las Vegas Raiders are just a better team, and I know that they have their ups and downs, and they're kind of like the cardiac kids, and they still play the whatever city the Chargers play in now. God, like all these movements, man, all these movements. You grow up thinking one thing, and then you gotta get used to a complete other thing because owners want to get rich and move teams to another location. So you know what? Look, here's the thing: the Raiders and the Bears. Two teams that are going to be in their cities for a very long time unless the Bears decide to move out of Chicago, which is looking like they might move to what's that suburb they're talking about moving into? Anyway, that's not here or there. Give me the Raiders.
Okay. All right. So I believe I am going to make this my big upset of the week.
That's actually good. That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. That's a good one.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you were making a really good point, and I agree with this. I this is exactly why I'm picking the Bears. Because the Oakland fucking shit. The Las Vegas Raiders. God. The Las Vegas Raiders are an extremely sloppy football team. I've been saying this every single week I've been watching them play. I'm like, yeah, they're winning, but holy hell, like how are they sustaining this winning? This is not good football they're playing. Like Derek Carr looks good, but on the whole, the Las Vegas Raiders have just played really sloppy football all year. And I think, like you said, that's the one thing the Bears are good at is taking advantage when you screw up. And so, I mean, I'm not saying the Bears are a good football team, but I think I am saying I don't know if the Las Vegas Raiders are a good football team either, regardless of how they started their season. So I'm gonna take the Bears in the upset.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Justin Fields' stats. He did 200 yards against the Lions. He played a better game. So I mean, like you might see some improvement in the 22-year-old quarterback. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Oh my God! Remind me never to get that beer again. That was disgusting.
I think you reminded yourself 10 times already.
Yeah, that's fucking true. God damn it.
Who got next?
Oh my God! Next, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Washington to play the what the fucks. Or I'm sorry, the what fuck those. Washington football team, WFT.
The what fuck does? The what fuck does playing the. Wait, hold up. I'm sorry, I was looking at just Herbert's stats. Let me look at this real quick. You go first in this one, actually.
Okay. Well, honestly, like I keep thinking the Washington football team is going to be better than they end up playing. So I honestly like this Washington defense was supposed to be like a top unit this year, and it just has not been. Let's see how did New Orleans play last week? Did they win last week?
New Orleans is 2-2 coming into this game. They lost against the Giants.
They lost against the Giants last week.
Yeah. Yep.
That was last week.
Yep. That was last week.
Oh, okay, so they're probably due for a good game then. So I'll take the Saints.
Yeah. So, all right. Oh man. See, look, I'm with you on this one. See, like I'm like back and forth with it. I am like I don't know how to read the Saints, dude, and I don't know how to read the football team. This is actually a tough game because like I don't know how to read either one of these teams. So the football team beat the Falcons and they beat the Giants. While the Saints lost to the Giants.
Beat the Falcons.
It's true, and they barely beat the Giants. The Saints, a team that barely beat the Giants or lost to the Giants, but barely a team that handled the Patriots and had a very bad loss against the Panthers. And man, it is really hard to gauge these teams. I don't think James Winston's a bad quarterback. I think they have the better quarterback, but Taylor Heineke looks really good though. Low, he doesn't look bad at all. He doesn't look great, but he doesn't look bad.
Well, he looks a lot better than you would expect Taylor Heineke to look. I think.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Nah, I don't know who I like as a better coach either. I mean, Sean Payton, yeah, but I don't really mind the coach for the football team. He's not a bad coach at all. That's Ron Rivera. Yeah. I don't.
He's a solid coach.
He's a very solid coach. So I don't know where to sell. I think Sean Payton is a slightly better coach, but I don't think that's that big of a difference. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Saints. I'm not sure about it, but I think I'm gonna go. Give me the football team.
Okay.
Give me the football team. I gotta catch up. Give me the football team.
I mean, in your defense, I also agree. This is a very difficult game to predict.
Yeah, give me the football team. All right.
So next we got NFC North divisional matchup in the Detroit Lions going to Minnesota to play the Vikings.
Vikings. I mean, like Lions haven't really looked bad the last few weeks. So, the Vikings, they had this slow start, but this looked like a get right game. This is a game they're going to have. They're going to probably figure out some things. Vikings are on a bad team. They just had a hard schedule. This is a team that beat the Seahawks pretty well. They're going to take care of the Lions.
Yep. I agree. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before. The Vikings now this isn't like with the Lions where I said the Lions beat the Ravens. Like I credit the Lions with a win.
Hmm.
What I am saying is the Vikings are this close, this little tiny sliver away from being 4-0 right now. They really are, because if you just don't fumble against the Bengals in overtime,
Hmm.
don't miss a field goal against the Cardinals. Like, and
Yeah.
it was a relatively makeable field goal too. Um, don't get defensive holding against the Browns. On a fourth down stop. Suddenly the Vikings are 4-0. And I mean, again, we're talking about what ifs, and we're talking about, potentially changing whatever, and the games happen the way they happen, and you have to consider those mistakes to be part of why they're 1-3 right now. But they're so close to being 4-0. So I still consider them a very good team. Or at least a much better team than I think people think they are because of their record. So the Lions, on the other hand, like I do think they beat the Ravens, but I don't think they beat the Ravens because they're a good team. I think they beat the Ravens because they just kind of like took the Ravens by surprise. I think the Ravens got trapped, essentially, is what happened.
Okay. Okay.
So the Vikings may not have kneecaps after this game, but they will come away with a victory. Maybe a Pyrrhic victory, but still.
Honestly,
Next,
I think they should probably give Dalvin Cook a rest and probably play that rookie running back they have. That's just let this game be for a rest game for Dalvin Cook. 'Cause that rookie running back they got was really good.
I don't know about that. When you're 1-3, I feel like if you have the opportunity to like win a game,
Yeah, that's true.
you got to go
That's
all
true.
out.
That's
Like
true.
maybe if they were like 4-0 going into this game, oh, it'd still be
Yeah,
a weird move to sit somebody in week 5. But
that's true. But he's hurt
maybe if they
though.
were to
He's
just,
hurt. He's hurt. He is hurt.
well, he is hurt. I mean, and you have to take stuff like that into consideration. But
Yeah. Man, one of
let's
my
move
homes
on.
is big.
Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles going to Charlotte to play the Carolina Panthers.
Oh man, I'm so tempted to take the Eagles again as my big upset of the week, but I'm not. I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I ain't take a bit upset here somewhere, but I'm going with the Panthers this game.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure I would consider the Eagles winning this game to be a huge upset. Like yes, I think the Panthers are favored. Yes, I think the Panthers are most likely going to win this game, and I'm picking the Panthers too, for what that's worth. But I don't think the Eagles, the Panthers losing to the Eagles would not be quite the same as, like, if the Chiefs had lost to Eagles, just because from a matchup perspective, the Eagles just do not match up well against the Chiefs at all. And we saw that, kind of happen. The Chiefs kind of like beat down on the Eagles to possibly get themselves right. We'll see kind of how that goes. But the Panthers, on the other hand, I think the Panthers possibly could be a little bit more susceptible to the Eagles. Again, I'm still picking the Panthers because I think the Panthers are the more talented team. I think the Panthers have the better head coach. I wouldn't necessarily rule out the Eagles. I think this could be maybe a bit of a bounce back game for them. I'm not going to pick it, but I think it could be.
Okay.
So next we got the New York Giants traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys, America's team.
This is a fun one. You know what, Kyle? I want to hear what you got to say about this game. Actually, you know what? No, I don't need to hear what you got to say about this game. Because what you're going to say is, Thomas, don't you ever think about, I know what you're thinking, but did you think about it? Because, they got a Duke quarterback, and a Duke quarterback, you know how I feel about Duke quarterbacks. And not only that, Daniel Jones suck. You suck, Daniel. And for
that second part.
But the whole thing is that Dak Prescott, like, we all know I got a man crush on Dak Prescott, and I love his game. So I'm not going to bet against Dak Prescott in this game. So, even though the rivalry game and everything, and the Giants did look good last week, against the Saints, but I gotta go against. I gotta go. I gotta go with the. I gotta go to the Cowboys this game. Part of me wants to call it. A part of me wants to call it upset, but just to be fun. But I think I got another upset coming.
Yep. Well, you pretty much said everything I was going to say. Like, I wasn't necessarily going to say, like, much about Daniel Jones other than the fact that I think Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback. Not that he looked like a bad quarterback last week, but on the whole, if I'm picking between Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones, I'm going to pick Dak Prescott every time because he is a very good quarterback. And the Cowboys overall seem like a pretty good team. The New York Giants, I do not believe, are a good team. Like, I mean, I know they looked good last week, but that was last week, and that was against a Saints team that just cannot make up their mind who they are.
Sure.
So I'm going to need to see more from the Giants before I start believing in them. I'll take the Cowboys.
Yep.
Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals.
Who we got starting this game? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be go this game, or are they going to have Trey Lance? Yeah.
Good question.
That matters a lot.
Well, Jimmy Garoppolo is allegedly going to practice tomorrow. So I guess that would mean he's probably questionable. So 50-50.
I mean,
so who knows, basically.
The 49ers could win this game. But
of course they could win this game. They're a good team.
Yeah, they're a really good team. I just think they're a better team with Jimmy Garoppolo than they are. I trust Jimmy Garoppolo more than I trust a rookie quarterback. Dang. I'm ready to. You know what? Look, I came in thinking about it. I was going to do it. But I really want the Cardinals to be undefeated when they come to Cleveland. That's my emotion. But my brain is telling me that if I were to pick any game to be my upset of the week, it got to be this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it. Yeah, no, I'm going. I can't pick the Cardinals to beat the. I can't pick the 49ers to beat the Cardinals. Not with Jimmy Garoppolo hopper. I mean, like that'd be me trusting the young quarterback. I don't know, Kyle. You go first in this one. Give me time to think about it. I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, that sucks because I haven't made my mind up either.
See, okay, so like this is where I'm at. I think that the team. I just think that the 49ers is a team that will figure out game plan to match the Cardinals. Like they're a team that do it. Like I think no matter what, they're always going to be there with their head coach. They're always going to be great on offense. Mm-hmm. Never doubt that in my mind. They're always going to be a great team on offense. And defensively, they're a complete team. But the Cardinals are just playing on such a high level right now. They're playing on such a freaking high level right now. How do you pick against them? How do you pick against that team? So that's where I'm at. You know what though? Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna make this my big upset of the week. I'm gonna make it the 49ers. I'm going with the 49ers.
Okay.
I'm going with the 49ers.
I'm going to have to take the Cardinals just because it's in Arizona. It's a home game for them. I think, I mean, I don't necessarily fully buy into the Cardinals, but I will admit they're playing very well. And right now, it's just hard to pick against them.
Yeah, I agree. It is really hard to pick against them. I'm having a hard time picking against them right now. Yeah, that's a hard one to pick. I'm not sure about that, but I said it. I gotta stick to it. I'm a man of my pick.
Okay. All right. So let's move on then to the AFC North games.
Okay, awesome.
So we got the Broncos going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
I'm going to the Broncos game.
Okay.
I just think the Steelers are on a downward moving slump. That momentum is moving so rapidly down that the Steelers won't be able to rebound from this downward moving slump that they're freaking going down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best way I could describe it at 12, 11 at night.
That's fair. I'm going to pick the Broncos too. I think the Broncos are a better team than what they put on the field against the Ravens.
Uh-huh.
Especially if Teddy Bridgewater plays. Actually,
Especially if Teddy Bridgewater plays.
I wonder if Teddy Bridgewater's playing.
Well, I'm just looking at this Teddy Bridgewater practice on Thursday, so it's a concussion. Okay. It's not like a. So if he's practicing after a concussion, yeah. So it looks like Teddy Bridgewater will be go.
Okay, well, Teddy Bridgewater's playing. I think the Broncos are maybe not as good of a team as they looked like through the first couple weeks or first 3 weeks, but I do think they're a much better team than the Steelers are right now. I think if Teddy Bridgewater's back, they'll have that offense going. Now, do I see the Broncos like competing with the top teams in the league? No, not necessarily. But I do think that they have more than enough to beat the Steelers, especially with the Broncos defense being pretty good and the Steelers offense being
the Steelers offense
trash. I'm sorry, we said the same thing there, Thomas.
You suck, Pittsburgh.
Trash. All right, Colts traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. What do you got, Thomas?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy one right there for me.
Yeah, for me, I wouldn't say this one is quite so easy. Because I did mention on the podcast the Colts have a really good run defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing, kind of making me think the Colts could maybe pull off the upset here. But I do think I do kind of agree. Like, until proven otherwise, the Ravens just look really good right now. It's kind of hard to pick against them against a struggling team like the Colts. So I'm going to pick the Ravens, and but I'm rooting for you, Colts. Prove me wrong, please.
Trust me, both are. I love to see AFC North for the Browns and the Bengals on top.
That'd be great. All right, so Browns going to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. What do you got?
I'm with the Browns. And here's why. And here's why. For one, I do think the Browns are going to have a game plan to slow down Justin Herbert to a point where they'll be able to manage him. The Browns running game is the Browns are one of the complete teams in the NFL. But I honestly do think Baker Mayfield, he performs well under pressure. We go through this every year with Baker Mayfield. Is he the franchise quarterback? Oh my God, can Baker Mayfield sustain? Is Baker Mayfield worth being paid? And every year he always has this game where he has this spectacular win. And everybody's like, damn, well, if you play like that every week, we'll have these conversations. And then people shut their mouths. I think this is one of them games. I think Baker Mayfield comes out. He plays well. I think him and Odell starts to get shit together. They got to click eventually.
Okay.
And so I'm going with the Browns.
All right. Well, I apologize, Thomas, but I'm going to go with the Chargers here.
Okay.
Because I just like you mentioned, the Browns are one of the most complete teams in the NFL. I think the Chargers are a very complete team right now. With Justin Herbert playing at the level that he's playing lately, I think that's. I think other than quarterback, the Browns and the Chargers are pretty similarly matched. But I think Justin Herbert's got Baker Mayfield beat right now. So especially it being in Los Angeles, and then the time difference and everything for the Browns, and I think this is going to be the Chargers' day. Final game. Can the Cincinnati Bengals upset the Green Bay Packers to prove that they're a real team?
I said that the Arizona Cardinals San Francisco game was my big upset of the week. I want to go back on that. My big upset of the week is the Bengals over the Packers. I really think but the thing is, I don't really consider it an upset. I just think the Bengals are a better team than the Packers. I said this before. I really don't. I'm really not a fan of the Packers off season. I think they're gonna catch up with them eventually. Um, and they're still doing great. I think they're gonna have a great season still. And I'm not downgrading how good the Packers are at all, but I'm just more or less very intrigued about how good the Bengals are. I think this is going to be a game the Bengals win. And it's going to be a nice emotional win for the city. It's going to be a great Bengals have arrived moment. So give me the Bengals again.
Okay. I am also going to pick the Bengals. I am not going to call this a big upset, though. I'm not. I'm not even entirely sure if I'm going to call it an upset. And the reason why is because I think the Bengals, pound for pound, starter for starter, I think the Green Bay Packers are probably a better football team. But I don't think they're so much better of a football team that the Bengals can't beat them, especially with that mentality that Joe Burrow has.
I got you.
And then on top of that, Green Bay is just banged up to shit and back, dude. Like, it's insane how many like key injuries they have at key positions. So it just seems to me like this is potentially the kind of game that the Bengals could end up dominating. Do I think that they're going to dominate? No, I don't. I don't think I would go so far as to predict that. But I do think that that's a possibility if the injuries rear their ugly head quite the same way that we're kind of expecting them to. Because, I mean, for the most part, save for like 2 or 3 players, the Bengals are going to be going into this game looking like a lot like that team that came out and played in week 1 against the Vikings. Now, I know that wasn't exactly like, the greatest scoreline of all time that shows how great the Bengals are. But if you recall, the Bengals were whooping up on the Vikings that game, and it wasn't really until the end where the Vikings made a comeback and then like would have won that game if Dalvin Cook hadn't fumbled. But if the Bengals had just held on to their lead, they would have won that game without needing all that extra rigmarole. We wouldn't have needed to go to overtime. So, I'm not going to say it's entirely because of injuries. I think the Bengals are going to win this game, but I do think that the injuries are going to play a big factor, and that's going to make, I think, the key difference in this game. And so I think it's going to be the Bengals, and so it's gonna end up with an interesting setup because next week the Bengals are going to play the Lions, I believe.
Yep.
And so the following week after that, let me just make sure I got this right. So next week, the Bengals play the Lions. And then after that, they travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens. And so it's starting to look like that week 7 game between the Ravens and the Bengals could end up being yet another prove-it game for the Bengals. Because, the Bengals, maybe they whoop up on Detroit, or maybe they just, barely beat Detroit or something or not Detroit, Green Bay. Whoop up on Green Bay, or maybe they just barely beat Green Bay or something like that. Then they go play the Lions, beat the Lions, and then it's going to come up again, week 7. Can the Bengals wrestle control of the AFC North away from the Baltimore Ravens? Can the Bengals prove that they are the AFC North, the best team in the AFC North right now?
Oh, the Browns are.
Well, okay, okay, but based on these predictions, the Browns aren't going to be in the position to have that moniker in the first place.
Well, I mean, see, you're going off the fact that you don't think. See, like, I think that. Okay, here's my thing. I think a lot of people are. And the NFL is people in NFL react on the moment, but not the overall big picture. I think that I honestly know that Baker Mayfield, obviously he's feeling pain, but honestly, like at the same time, I still think it's a little bit of excuses because, like, what do we all say? Like, dude, just tough it out. Like, at the end of the day, like, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, it's gonna hurt like hell, dude. It's gonna hurt like freaking hell. But at the end of the day, it's not your throwing shoulder. You should be able to complete those passes. At the end of the day, I think Baker Mayfield will have the ability and the capability and the ability to complete those passes, to be a better player, to be a staunch foot-in player unless his throwing arm is injured. Unless his throwing arm is injured. But Baker Mayfield is healthy enough to play, and I was looking at photos of him in practice. Baker Mayfield, you should be able to have a big game against the Chargers. You should be able to outplay Justin Herbert because I personally believe that you are a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. And I personally believe that you are on the best team in the AFC North. And I just think that you can't dismiss the Browns because I think that the Browns are still best team and going to win this division. But that's just me. Go ahead.
I think that...
Get your shit together, Baker. By the way, I just want to say that.
I think that Justin Herbert has a higher ceiling than Baker Mayfield. Period, point blank. Now, I also think that in the long run, Baker Mayfield's mentality is going to be stronger than Justin Herbert's because that was my criticism about Justin Herbert going into the NFL in the first place. We'll see how he handles all the adversity that comes along with being an NFL quarterback over time. I think Baker Mayfield could end up coming out as the better of the two. However, I think right now, Baker Mayfield is not the better quarterback. Justin Herbert is probably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. Baker Mayfield is not right now.
I think Baker Mayfield can outplay Justin Herbert next game.
I think he will. I certainly believe that's possible. I certainly think it's possible that in one game, Baker Mayfield could outplay Justin Herbert. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think that's a possibility for sure.
I will see.
But, I don't think they're going to beat the Chargers. I do think that the Bengals are going to beat the Packers based on all of the extra stuff. Like I said, the Bengals original starters versus the Packers original starters, the first 22 versus their first 22. I think the Packers would probably win that game. But based on everything that's happening right now, I think the Bengals will probably win this game. I think it's shifted. I think the Bengals could beat the Packers if it was the Bengals original 22 versus the Packers original 22, and vice versa. I still think that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers can come in and beat the Bengals, even though right now I think the Bengals are the better team right now. And by which I mean the Packers are injured as shit and back. And so the Bengals, I think, are clearly the better roster at the moment because they have more healthy, good players than the Packers do. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But time does tell.
I will say this setup that I have here, if I'm right, which I'm never, neither of us have ever been perfect on even 1 week of these predictions. But if what I think is going to happen ends up happening, then that Week 7 matchup between the Bengals and Ravens could be fascinating. And honestly, I could see if the Bengals beat the Packers, I could see that Week 7 matchup between the Bengals and the Ravens getting flexed to primetime, like Sunday Night Football.
That would be a good one.
Wouldn't it though?
Yeah. I think we got a good one in store between the Browns and the Bengals too. I think we have a good season on our way. Get ready, Cal.
That would be fascinating if the Ravens don't end up winning this game or next week's game, for example, and then it does end up being the Bengals and the Browns battling for the division.
If that game get flexed to freaking prime time, that'd be insane. But
can you imagine if Week 18 between the Bengals and Browns in Cleveland ends up being for the division?
Hey, I threw that thought out there. You dismissed it. I threw that thought out there already, and you dismissed that thought. So look, man.
I mean,
don't take my thunder here.
Forgive me. I was fresh off a loss to Chicago, so.
But not only that, it was before the season. I'm like, look, man, this Bengals team is really freaking good. I was saying that, Kyle. I wasn't just saying that just to gas you up. And I've been telling you, look, dude, your team is really freaking good. I'm really impressed by some things by the team. I'm just saying that from the beginning. Look, I've been taking a lot of time studying your team so I can make sure that I can give you a great podcast. I've been doing this for you, dude. And I'm telling you, from an outsider perspective, the Bengals are a good ass team. And now they're proving it.
The Bengals are a good team. I will grant that. I thought the Bengals were a good team going into the season. I didn't think they were a great team, but I thought they were a good team going into the season. The problem is the Bengals at that time had not yet learned how to win.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking it might take maybe a little bit longer to kind of like get that chemistry and get their shit together. And by the time they did, it could be difficult to catch back up in the division. That is not what happened. But they also had a pretty. They also ended up with a much easier stretch of games at the beginning of the season than I thought they would.
By the way,
I didn't think that the Vikings were going to be that sloppy. I didn't think that the Steelers were going to be. Well, I take that back. I did think the Steelers were going to be this bad. I didn't necessarily think the Steelers were going to be this bad right away, though. I thought it was going to take some time of Ben Roethlisberger wearing down to get that bad. And I also I thought the Jaguars. You know what? I take it back because I was going to say I thought the Jaguars were going to be better than they are. But I mean, dude, the Jaguars played pretty well that Thursday.
They ain't play bad. They ain't play bad.
That was not.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the whole Urban Meyer thing, like, dude, like you have momentum. Like you could add a lot of momentum. Y'all made a mountain out of a molehill.
You're right.
Y'all literally made a mountain out of a molehill in Jacksonville, man. Like, come on, man.
Well, in fairness, that is kind of the coach's job to, make sure that situations like that don't pop up. So when this coach is the one at the center of it, it's really hard for that to not happen.
It's really hard when honestly, we already talked about this. But another thing, I really want to say though that we haven't mentioned on either podcast is we haven't mentioned Myles Garrett, by the way, for the Browns and his level of play as the defensive player of the year. This is one of those signature Myles Garrett games. I really want to see how well this defense really measure up against Justin Herbert. And we're going to see what happens.
It will definitely be fascinating. But I think that's probably all. Well, we covered all the games. We got our predictions in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you on the next predictions podcast. Well, I guess we'll catch you on the predictions recap on what would that be? Monday night. Monday night we'll be doing the predictions recap again. We'll be doing it live as we always do lately. And maybe we'll catch a little bit more of that Monday night game than we caught of this Thursday night game.
I'm so sorry. I really wish that game lasted a little longer.
Man, I was so salty.
I'm like everything you said.
Like it was going to be such a climactic ending, and then by the second we get going, boom, pick. Fuck.
I know. I felt the same way. I honestly felt the same way. You just said it so well. I didn't. You said it so well. I didn't have to say it. So yeah.
Like you fuckers. Fuck you, Geno Smith. Go to that kid's charity event.
This freaking charity event, dude.
All right, guys. We'll catch you another time. Who day?
Go Browns. Listen to Guardian, y'all.